the TBR episode 5. Are you excited? No? You're not excited? You're such a good girl. Oh, she got slobber on this one. We got a cat on the board. Let's go and do our first roll. Hi everyone, welcome back to Defend the TBR. My name is Rochelle and we are now on episode 5. I can't believe we have been doing Defend the TBR only for this year and we're already on episode 5. That is so exciting. If this is your first time watching a Defend the TBR episode, this is a game that I ended up going and creating to help me get through the books that are on my TBR. I made a fun little board game and my fiance ends up going and doing a fun little video voiceover portion. So if this is your first time watching, I'd highly recommend going and watching the first episode of Defend the TBR as I go over some of the rules and how some of the mechanics of the game work. But for this episode, what we're going to do is go right away into doing a recap over the books from episode 4 and seeing how well I did and how many points we have accumulated to defend our TBR. So for roll number 1, we landed on Short Rest and I picked Read from Discard Pile for 5 points. So this card basically means that I go through my Love It or Lose It pile, which is my unhaul list of books that I'd like to read before seeing if I want to get rid of them. And I decided to go with Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I did successfully read this book, so that means I get 5 points. Then for our second roll, I actually landed on roll even for a free DNF. I landed on 7 and to be honest, I was pretty happy with that. There weren't any books so far that I was thinking about getting off of our TBR for that month. So then roll number 3 was a pet pick. I know a lot of you were saying how much you love the pet picks, so I'm not changing anything with those. So you're welcome there. You get to see all the pets during these episodes. For our pet pick, we got Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulic, and the pet pick was 5 points as well, so we have 10 points now. Then roll number 4 was another one where it was remove a book from the TBR and repick. I also decided to skip this one as well because there were no books that I really at that point was in the mood to get rid of. It was a pretty busy month, so it didn't really feel necessary to go and get rid of any books, especially since I was enjoying the books that we had picked out so far. Then we landed on another pet pick, which is 5 points as well, and the pet pick we had was The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and we did successfully complete this one as well with a total of 15 points for our Defend the TBR episode 4. So we did finish all of our books and that means we didn't have to use our free DNF card. This was a free DNF card that I believe I picked up during our first episode of Defend the TBR. So I'm gonna still hang on to this, but for now, let's go and see how we did with defending our TBR with this little movie.
Welcome back to another installment of Defend the TBR. In our last harrowing episode, Rochelle, weary and exhausted from hurdling spell after spell against the oncoming forces, decided to call upon her powers as a druid of the Circle of the Page and unleashed a fireball spell to incinerate the vast majority of the kobolds encroaching on her library. After 6 were turned to ash, she now stands against their leader and a sole kobold. Grasping the stones she had magically enchanted earlier, she hurls both with all of her might, the natural magics propelling them with deadly force. The impact leaving a crater deep in the skull of the final kobold. However, the second stone misses the black-scaled dragonborn by a hair's breadth, a folly that he quickly takes advantage of, and begins to march steadily towards our heroine. A desperation rises in her heart and the burning rage for the interloper who wishes to do harm to her library. She calls forth a brilliant flame from the ground, burning at the Dragonborn's feet, eliciting yelps of pain.
Hell's take you, child of the tome!
With the enemy faltering, will Rochelle be able to finally ensure the safety and peace for her library and home, or has her fighting been all for naught? Find out next month on Defend the TBR.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that segment and seeing how we defended our library. I'm always excited to see how each episode is going to go, since my fiance is the one that gets to go and do a lot of control for those scenes. So I hope you're enjoying those. But let's go and change over to the other screen and see what picks we end up getting. Hi everyone, so we are back with our Defend the TBR board, and I have our little place marker on the pet pick, which is where we left off last time. So I think for this we're gonna maybe do around 4 rolls depending on how many books we get. So let's go and do our first roll. So we got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A mood read. Oh, heck yeah. Okay. Okay, so for mood read, I think I'm gonna go with She Left by Stacey Gray. And since this is a mood read, I feel like if I don't get to it this month, I might go and change to a different book. Since it is a mood read, I'm gonna allow some flexibility there. Okay, let's go for roll number 2. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got a pet pick, so 1 second. Nikki, stay over there. Oh. I know, you know what's going on. Go over there. Come on. Come on. Go get the pet pick. Go get the pet pick. Alright, this is the one. Nuggie, sit. And the one that Nugget picked was The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. Now let's do roll number 3. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kindle read. Read a book from your Kindle. All right, let me go and check. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go with Salvation by Sandra Proudman. And then let's see about roll number 4. So we got 4 for roll number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move back a space. So that means we get another Kindle pick. Read a book from Kindle Unlimited. So I don't currently have Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going to redraw. Read a Kindle book you just hauled. And so for this one, I'm going to do Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. I just got approved for the NetGalley arc, so we're going to read that one. And maybe we'll do one more because I'm having really fun and this could be a bad thing. So this will be our last roll because I'm already accumulating a lot of books. So we got 5 again. So roll 5, got 5. That's kind of funny. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love it or lose it. Heck yeah. All right, let me check our pile. All right, I'm going to go with Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I will probably go in tandem read this, maybe with an audiobook and also with a physical book. And I think this will be great, especially to help me move along with my books. So we're going to go with this one. All right, I'm going to see you in the other screen so we can go and do our recap. I might have rolled a little bit more than I should have. So I got 5 books, and I'm also participating in Escape the Readathon. I'm on Team Hackers, so I really hope that some of these books will end up going and working for a lot of the prompts that I have. But let's go and do a recap and see the books that we have picked for this month of Defend the TBR. So for roll number 1, I landed on Mood Read, and I kind of got in a little bit of a reading slump at the end of April. I had a lot of books that were kind of misses for me, so I feel like I need to go back to thrillers and horror stories and get out of that reading slump again. So the one that felt right for me was going with She Left by Stacey Gray, and this one says 20 years ago she survived. Now she's fighting for her life. On the night that changed everything, Amy Brewer walked out of a house party, trudging angrily away from the friends who made her feel like she didn't belong. Within the next hour, all 5 of those friends would be dead. I feel like this one will definitely help get me out of that slump with a lot of the books that were misses, and if I read this one, I will be able to get 2 points. Then we landed on Pet Pick, and I know a lot of you really love Pet Picks. As you saw from the footage, Nugget was ready to go, and even though the treats weren't out yet, she still ended up picking the same book after the treats were laid out, and she went with The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. A decade ago, 2 vans filled with high school seniors on a school service trip crashed into a Tennessee ravine. Only 9 survived. A year later, after one of the survivors dies by suicide on the anniversary of the crash, the rest of them make a pact to come together each year to commemorate that terrible night. I'm really curious about this book. I received it in the mail through one of the influencer programs I'm a part of, and if I read this one, I will get 5 points as well. Then we landed on a Kindle pick, and this one just said, read a book from your Kindle. So I decided to go with Salvation by Sandra Proudman. This is one that is on my NetGalley. I'm really trying to get through a lot of my NetGalley books and improve my score. So this one is a Latinx YA fantasy inspired by El Zorro. And Zorro was something that I grew up watching a lot of, both the movies and the older TV show with Guy Williams with my dad. It was something that we would watch a lot on Friday nights or maybe on Sundays when we had tacos. So it says, Lola de la Peña yearns to be free from the societal expectations of a young Mexican lady of her station. She spends her days pretending to be delicate and proper while watching her mama cure the sick and injured with sal negra, which in parentheses is black salt, a recently discovered magic that heals even the most mortal of sicknesses and wounds. But by night she is Salvacion, the free spirit lady vigilante protecting the town of Coloma from those who threaten its peace and safety among the rising tension in Alta California, after the signing of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. This one I haven't heard too many people talk about reading, so I'm very excited to go and check it out for this month. And if I finish that book, I will also get 4 points as well. For roll number 4, we landed on the space where I had to move back a spot, and so that landed us on picking a Kindle read again. I got read a book from Kindle Unlimited. I don't currently have Kindle Unlimited, so I decided to go and pick a card again. And I got read a Kindle book you just hauled. And I'm so excited for this one because I landed on Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. This is one of my really anticipated reads for the year, and I just recently got approved for it on NetGalley. So this one says, Mirabella Owens grew up with legends of wolves that traveled to her Midwestern town to protect humans from vampires. Of a werewolf that fell in love with one of the undead, unraveling a blood-soaked history. But Mira stopped believing in those fairy tales years ago. She stopped believing in a lot of things after her mom left without a trace when she was only 13. I am so excited for this book, and I might have done a little happy dance when I got the email saying I was approved to finally read this book. So I'm so excited to check it out. And that one will also give us 4 points if I'm able to successfully read it. Then for our last roll, we landed on Love It or Lose It, and I decided to go with Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This is on my unhaul list for the Love It or Lose It series, and I've kind of been back and forth on unhauling this book because I've heard good things, but I'm not necessarily someone that goes out of my way to read romance books. So I figured this would be great to go and pick up, and I might go and tandem read it where I go and listen to it over audio while I'm working and then picking up the physical later after work and seeing if that kind of helps me move along. But yeah, I'm excited to finally get the chance to check it out. And our Love It or Lose It spots on the board don't actually have any points unless we're getting them from an actual card. So we're not going to get any points for this book, which is a bummer, but it'll all work out. So we still have our free DNF card, and let's say I don't finish one of the books and I finally decide to use this. It could help, but however, if I decided to use it on Archer's Voice, I feel like it would kind of cancel each other out. That one doesn't lose me any points if I don't end up reading it, so I feel like I don't want to waste this card on that. So it could be one of the other books, but I highly doubt it because they all are ones I'm very interested in reading and line up with a lot of my reading choices. But yeah, those are all the books that we have for this episode of Defend the TBR. I'm so excited to check them out. I feel a little bit nervous, but also excited, just knowing that I'm in another readathon and I want to help get as many points as I can for my team, so fingers crossed. But yeah, as always, if you enjoy these episodes of Defend the TBR, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Maybe go and leave a stack of books because we do have a lot of books that we have to read for this month. And as always, please leave a like, maybe subscribe. That would mean the world to me. And I want to remind you all that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye.